Have you ever noticed something strange about INFJs? They disappear. Not because they hate people. Not because they are antisocial. But because sometimes, silence feels better than conversation. A crowded room can drain them in minutes. Yet a quiet room alone can feel like oxygen. Many people misunderstand this. They think INFJs are shy. They think INFJs are cold. They think INFJs are avoiding life. But the truth is very different. INFJs are one of the rarest personality types in the world. And their relationship with solitude is deeply psychological. Being alone is not loneliness for an INFJ. It is recovery. It is clarity. It is emotional survival. In this video, we will explore the real psychological reasons why INFJs prefer being alone. Some of these reasons may surprise you. And if you are an INFJ, you might finally feel understood. One of the biggest reasons INFJs need solitude is emotional intensity. INFJs feel things deeply. Very deeply. Much deeper than most people realize. When someone walks into a room feeling sad, an INFJ often senses it immediately. When someone is angry, the emotional tension can feel almost physical. When someone is anxious, the INFJ absorbs that energy. Psychologists often connect this to the INFJ's strong use of empathy. INFJs do not just observe emotions. They absorb them. They process them. They carry them. And this constant emotional awareness can become exhausting. Imagine walking through the world like a sponge. Every conversation leaves emotional residue. Every conflict leaves a mark. Every person's pain lingers in your mind. After a while, the INFJ mind becomes overloaded. This is where solitude becomes necessary. Being alone allows INFJs to release the emotional noise they collected throughout the day. It gives them space to process what they felt. It gives them quiet. And quiet is where INFJs reset their emotional balance. Without solitude, emotional burnout can happen quickly. This is why many INFJs disappear after social events. They are not rejecting people. They are recovering. Another powerful reason INFJs prefer solitude is their inner world. INFJs spend a lot of time thinking. Not simple thinking. Deep thinking. They analyze life. They reflect on conversations. They imagine possibilities. They search for meaning in everything. Their minds are constantly exploring ideas about human behavior, psychology, relationships, and purpose. This is connected to their dominant cognitive function called introverted intuition. Introverted intuition makes INFJs naturally reflective. Their brains are wired to look beneath the surface. While others see events, INFJs see patterns. While others see words, INFJs see intentions. While others see moments, INFJs see long-term meaning. This constant mental activity requires quiet. Noise interrupts their thinking. Crowds interrupt their focus. Surface-level conversations feel draining. Solitude protects their inner world. It gives them the mental space they need to explore ideas. For INFJs, being alone is not empty. It is full. Full of thoughts. Full of insights. Full of reflection. In many ways, solitude is where their best thinking happens. 3. Surface-level socializing feels draining. Many INFJs enjoy meaningful conversations. In fact, they crave them. But they struggle with something very common in everyday social life. Small talk. Conversations about weather. Conversations about gossip. Conversations that never go deeper than the surface. For INFJs, these interactions can feel exhausting. Not because they dislike people, but because they value authenticity. They want real conversations. They want depth. They want honesty. They want to talk about dreams, fears, personal growth, psychology, philosophy, and life purpose. But everyday social environments often move in the opposite direction. Many conversations stay shallow. And for INFJs, shallow interactions create a strange feeling. It feels like wearing a mask. They smile. They participate. But internally, they feel disconnected. After too much of this, INFJs feel mentally tired. Solitude becomes their escape from social performance. Being alone means they no longer have to pretend. They can relax. They can be their authentic selves. 4. INFJs need time to process human behavior. INFJs are natural observers of people. They constantly study human behavior. They notice body language. They notice tone of voice. They notice hidden emotions. They notice contradictions between what people say and what they actually feel. Most people miss these subtle signals. INFJs rarely do. Their minds automatically analyze social patterns. But this deep observation creates mental overload. Every interaction gives them more information to process. Why did that person react that way? Why did someone suddenly become quiet? Why did someone smile while hiding frustration? INFJs replay these moments in their minds. They try to understand motivations. They search for deeper meaning behind behavior. This kind of mental analysis requires quiet reflection. Without alone time, the INFJ mind becomes crowded with unanswered questions. Solitude helps them organize their thoughts. It helps them understand people more clearly. It helps them regain mental clarity. 5. INFJs are highly sensitive to energy. Many INFJs describe something unusual about their experience with people. They feel energy. Not in a mystical way, but in a psychological and emotional sense. They notice emotional atmospheres instantly. If a room feels tense, INFJs feel it. If someone feels insecure, INFJs sense it. If someone feels manipulative, INFJs often detect subtle warning signs. This heightened awareness makes social environments unpredictable. Some interactions feel uplifting, others feel draining. But INFJs cannot easily ignore emotional tension. Their brains automatically scan for emotional signals. Over time, this constant sensitivity becomes exhausting. Solitude becomes their safe environment. When INFJs are alone, emotional noise disappears. No hidden agendas. No conflicting energies. No emotional tension. Just peace. And for INFJs, peace is powerful. 6. INFJs recharge through solitude. Many personality types gain energy from social interaction. INFJs are different. As introverts, they lose energy through extended social activity. Even enjoyable social events can drain them. A long conversation, a crowded gathering, a busy workplace. Each interaction slowly reduces their mental energy. At first, they seem perfectly fine. They laugh. They engage. They contribute. But internally, their energy levels are dropping. Eventually, they reach a point where they need to withdraw. This is not rejection. This is recovery. Solitude acts like a charger for the INFJ mind. When they spend time alone, something interesting happens. Their thoughts slow down. Their emotions settle. Their creativity returns. Their mental clarity comes back. Without solitude, INFJs begin to feel overwhelmed. But with solitude, they regain balance. This is why many INFJs protect their alone time carefully. It is not selfish. It is necessary. 7. INFJs value meaningful connections over many connections. INFJs are not interested in having hundreds of casual friendships. They prefer something different. Depth, authenticity, trust. They want relationships where they can be completely real, where masks disappear, where conversations matter. Because of this, INFJs often keep their social circles small. Very small. Sometimes only a few close friends. Sometimes just one or two people they truly trust. And sometimes, no one at all for a period of time. This does not mean they dislike people. It means they value emotional safety. Superficial relationships feel empty to them. They would rather be alone than surrounded by people who do not truly understand them. This preference for deep connection naturally leads to more solitude. But for INFJs, this solitude feels peaceful rather than lonely. 8. Solitude helps INFJs maintain emotional boundaries. INFJs are natural helpers. They listen. They comfort. They support others through emotional struggles. Friends often come to them for advice. Strangers sometimes open up to them unexpectedly. INFJs create a safe emotional space for others. But there is a hidden cost. They sometimes give too much. They absorb other people's pain. They prioritize other people's needs. Over time, this emotional generosity can lead to exhaustion. Solitude becomes their reset button. It allows them to reconnect with their own emotions. It reminds them where their boundaries are. Without time alone, INFJs can lose themselves in other people's problems. Solitude helps them return to their own center. And that balance is essential for their mental health. 9. INFJs often feel misunderstood. Many INFJs grow up feeling different. They think deeply. They question things others accept easily. They notice emotional patterns most people ignore. Because of this, they sometimes struggle to find people who truly understand them. When conversations stay shallow, they feel invisible. When their insights are dismissed, they feel disconnected. Over time, this creates a quiet sense of isolation. Not dramatic loneliness, but subtle distance. Solitude can feel safer than repeated misunderstanding. When they are alone, they no longer have to explain themselves. They no longer have to simplify their thoughts. They can simply exist as they are. And for many INFJs, that freedom is incredibly comforting. So why do INFJs prefer being alone? The answer is not simple. And it is not negative. For INFJs, solitude is not about escaping people. It is about protecting their inner world. INFJs move through life with a very sensitive emotional radar. They notice moods. They notice tension. They notice hidden pain in others. While many people pass through social situations lightly, INFJs absorb much more than they show. And carrying that emotional weight every day can be exhausting. Solitude becomes their way of releasing it. It gives them silence. It gives them mental space. It gives them the chance to breathe again. But there is another side to this quiet preference. INFJs are not empty when they are alone. Their minds are incredibly active. They reflect. They imagine. They analyze life, people, and the deeper meaning behind everything they experience. This rich inner world is one of the most defining traits of the INFJ personality type. And it can only fully exist in calm environments. Noise interrupts it. Crowds overwhelm it. Surface-level conversations drain it. So INFJs often step back from social noise. Not because they dislike connection, but because they value meaningful connection more than constant interaction. They would rather have one honest conversation than 100 shallow ones. They would rather spend an evening in deep thought than hours performing socially. To outsiders, this can look like distance. Sometimes even mystery. But for INFJs, this quiet life is where clarity lives. It is where their intuition becomes stronger. It is where their creativity grows. It is where they understand both themselves and others more deeply. Solitude is not isolation. It is restoration. It is the space where INFJs process emotions, organize thoughts, and reconnect with their sense of purpose. And when INFJs do choose to connect with others, they bring something powerful into those relationships. Empathy, insight, depth. They listen carefully. They understand what others often cannot say out loud. They offer support that feels genuine and thoughtful. This is why INFJs are often the people others turn to during difficult moments. But even the most empathetic minds need quiet. Even the most supportive hearts need rest. So when an INFJ disappears for a while, it usually does not mean something is wrong. It simply means they are returning to the place where they feel balanced again. Their solitude, their inner sanctuary. And in that quiet space, they are not withdrawing from life. They are preparing to understand it better. If you are an INFJ watching this, your need for solitude is not a flaw. It is part of how your mind works. It is part of how you stay emotionally healthy. And it is part of what gives you the ability to see the world in such a thoughtful and meaningful way. Sometimes the loudest growth happens in silence. And sometimes the deepest minds simply need quiet to do their best work.